What the frick is up? I haven't been on here in so long, and I know that's the same excuse over and over again. I'm gonna post, I'm gonna be active, I wanna do like weekly vlogs, and then boom, I'm gone for like an entire year. But honestly, if I can sit down and have a heart to heart with my audience, like, this is me being real, this is me being raw, this is me being truthful, this is me being me, says every YouTuber. I've been going through some shit. I really have gone through so much. I think last year I completely hit rock bottom. This year I was still in rock bottom, but I'm like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Even though a lot of things happened last year, I got engaged. This year I went to Greece. During those moments, even though they were like happy, beautiful moments that happened to me, I was still very much getting drowned in mud, quicksand. But it wasn't quick. It was like I was suffering slowly. And it's just all down to mental health. I think for me personally, I just wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't happy with how I was taking care of myself mentally, which then resulted into me gaining weight physically. And then because I saw myself gaining weight physically, my mental health just went to shit even more. I am still not happy like where I'm at, I guess. Like, I know I can improve more mentally and physically, but I'm at least not where I was last year leading into this year. So just a lot has happened and I'm completely tired. I'm drained. I mean, I look tired, but also this is just how my eyes look. And I feel bad because like I want to have content and I genuinely love making content. But when you are just so depressed and nothing, you can't seem to find any light to hold on to make you happy. Like, of course, my kids and Eric and all that. But internally, when you're going through something and it's just you and you feel like it's just you alone with your thoughts and you're going through something, it's so hard to look around you and see what you have and be like, you know, grateful. Like, I really was depressed. I really was just going through it. It got to the point where we got a nanny because I was just suffering so much and I never wanted a nanny. I told Eric, like, you know, I don't need someone to take care of my kids. I am a stay-at-home mom. My job is to take care of like my home, my kids, you know, to do all of this. And because I want to, like, I love my kids. I love being home with them. I'm blessed to be able to be home with them. But it got to the point where I was drowning and it was showing. Anytime I was around someone, they were like, are you okay? Are you sleeping? Like, you look like, my family was like concerned for me. I was thinking of going into therapy. Like, I was just not there. I was not myself. And it's hard to not only have constant battles with yourself mentally, but to try to be creative and post content because then it didn't seem genuine. Like, there were so many times where I wanted to just put the camera up and record me doing my makeup and sit down with you guys and take you along with me. But as soon as I even had the thought of doing that, it was like, but I'm sad. Like, I don't have the energy for this. I don't have the mental, you know, strength to put a camera in front of me and just act like everything's fine because mentally I wasn't fine. And again, this has nothing to do with like my family or, you know, the kids. It was just internally, I was really just going through it. When I was little, I had depression. Like, really, it was the worst I've ever gone through. I was diagnosed with depression when I was 11, 12, and those were the darkest times of my entire life. Middle school leading into high school, I was very, very, very depressed. I had a lot of factors leading into like my depression, a lot of reasonings behind it, just a lot of mental stuff that I was going through. Then I want to say towards college, like, it got better. And then obviously when I met Eric, like I was still depressed, but I gradually got, I don't want to say like out of it completely because I know I still have it in me, but of course, like, I feel like I'm in a better place in my life for it to not be as it used to be or be as often as it used to be. But I did have my moments, and last year it just hit me like a freaking truck. Like, last year I feel like was my postpartum year. Like, I had the kids in 2020, but 2021, a year later after having the kids, I feel like I went through my own journey of postpartum depression. And when you've already been depressed, nearly growing up, and then that hits you after having kids, which is supposed to be a beautiful moment in your life, it really does something to you. So, yeah, we have a nanny. We try to just work as a team here because Eric is very understanding of you need your time. And he knows and he sees it. Like, as soon as he sees me stressed out, he's like, go upstairs, go relax, I'll watch the kids, go get your Starbucks, go to the gym, do whatever you want to make yourself happy, because like he can see it and he can feel it. And when you're with someone, you can feed off of it. And of course I feel bad because he's like my rock. And throughout this entire thing, he's been very helpful. He's like, go to Greece, you know, just you need this for yourself because I can see what it's doing to you. So why I've been gone, it's just been like a whole roller coaster of emotions of just things I've been going through mentally. And I think I just wanted to like really be honest and not really like put on like this fake smile of like, hi guys, welcome back. Oh, it's just like I was going through it. I really was. I feel like I lost myself. I feel like, and I know that's normal being a mom, because once you have kids, you give your all to your kids. You give your all to your family. You put yourself last so you can give your energy and dedication to your family and your kids first. But then it's also like at the end of the day, you're so exhausted and you lose yourself because your personality and your whole being is your family. And then you slowly start to forget like who you are, who you used to be before kids. And then you start to compare yourself when you look back at old photos and videos of like, I used to be her, but that's not me anymore. And it's like this weird like identity loss that you kind of have and face. Because I had that moment a lot where I would come across old videos and photos of myself and I'm like, I have no idea who that person is. Like, I don't. And it was kind of like a mourning process. Like, I know I can be her and better. Like, I'm a mom now. Like, I can be a badass mom. I can work on myself. I can still be her and, like I said, more. But still to see her and compare that person of who you used to be and what you were like before kids to yourself now, knowing that you're depressed and you're just like feeding off negative comments and just energy, like that did it for me. I was like, I cried. I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, who are you? What are you doing? Like, I don't even know who you are anymore. But I'm definitely in a better place now than I was last year, for sure. And it was just, you know, like I said, it was just an overall emotional roller coaster. A lot of things have actually happened this year. Like I said, I got a nanny, which helped a lot. It helped with me and Eric just finding time for ourselves. Me being able to do things for myself, whether that's like social media. I'm very active on TikTok and Instagram, not so much YouTube, but I really want to be active on YouTube. It's just, for me, it was finding time, because once you are everything for yourself, like you record and then you have to sit down and edit and then you have to find time for that, and I didn't have time for anything. But with the nanny, she definitely helped a lot. So I mean, I'm definitely in a better place now. And if you guys don't know this either, me and my friend Marley, we have a podcast, Bestie with my bestie, and we're active on that. We've been posting weekly. So that's something that's really exciting, like a new project that I took on, and I'm really happy with it. I'm really excited about it. I love Marley. I love Andy, her husband, who's been helping us edit and just produce everything and film and just make sure everything goes well. You know, like I'm very happy with things that are going on towards the end of the year. Things that I know that I could work on is better eating, taking care of myself. For those of you that have followed me on my acne journey, I finally saw my dermatologist, and it was so funny because the first thing that she said, like, she was like, I had a mask on, and she was like, oh, take off your mask. And I literally took it off for a second. She goes, okay, you have severe acne with scarring. And I'm like, damn, like, I didn't think it was that bad. Like, it used to be worse than this. And she was like, yeah, so I should just Accutane. And I was a little hesitant, and she saw that. And she's like, okay, how do you feel? And I was like, well, personally, I've heard a lot of good and bad things about Accutane, but it's the bad things that I've heard about that are making me feel a little bit uncomfortable with it. And I was just honest with her, because this is about my acne, and I've suffered with acne since middle school. So I just laid it all out there about like the side effects that I've heard, this and that. And she calmed me down with the information that she gave me, and she was like, please take everything that you hear and see, especially from others in social media, with a grain of salt. But because you're uncomfortable, let's just go a different route, and then within 3 months of the routine that I put you on isn't working, then we'll go to Accutane. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm currently taking a morning cream, pills twice a day, and a night cream, which sounds like a lot, I know, but I'm just hoping that this can finally get, you know, just done with. So that's my dermatology update for those of you that have been following me on Instagram and know that I've always been open about my acne. I love my acne. I feel like I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I can pull it off, as weird as it sounds, like not to be cocky, but I feel like I don't look as bad with it. It used to be worse, so I think that's why I'm happy with this, because it used to be very bad, like cystic acne all over my face. So to me, this is like clear skin to me. Even though it's not, I have redness, I have scars, but compared to how I used to be, I would rather have this and be happy with this and who I like, the acne that I had before. Not to mention, not too long ago, if you guys also follow me on Instagram, like I'm telling you, on Instagram, we are uploading constantly, either on my stories or on just like my Instagram in general. The boys were in the hospital, and it was such a very scary, overwhelming, stressful experience. Cruise like Monday morning. Cruise Tuesday morning. I woke up like sneezing, so I was like, okay, my allergies are acting up. And Cruz woke up sneezing, so I was like, okay, his allergies are acting up. Like it's just gonna be one of those days. And then Wednesday, you know, he still had a runny nose that went on throughout the night. So Wednesday, after their afternoon nap, his breathing was not the same. It wasn't the same. And luckily my sister was over. My sister's asthmatic. She's been in the hospital growing up. I feel like she was always in the hospital because she had asthma and pneumonia, so she knows all the triggers. Her son is asthmatic, my dad is asthmatic, my sister had like horrible just asthma attacks all the time growing up, so she knows everything there is to know about asthma, the triggers, how to treat it, what to do, the signs. So she definitely like helped. I'm glad she was there that day, because she looked at him and she's like, he doesn't look good, Vanessa, like he doesn't sound good. And I knew that, but it was definitely nice for her to like be there and just kind of like comfort me in that moment, but also let me know like, hey, it's okay, like take him to the hospital. So we took him in, and yeah, sure enough, he had to get admitted into the hospital. We went to urgent care first because it was closest, and then we got from urgent care to an emergency room, because the urgent care was like, you need to take him to an emergency room now. And then the emergency room that we went to, they were like, you need to go to a specific hospital that specializes in children and pediatrics, because he needs to be admitted into the hospital. So then we took an ambulance to a children's hospital, which is, you know, the best hospital to me is like Chalk Hospital. And then he was admitted, and then little do we know, like 4 or 5 hours later, Sarah, Eric's mom, is with Ezekiel at home, and she sends a video of him breathing. And I'm like, I'm not even gonna like think that he's okay overnight. I told Eric, like, we gotta bring him, like we just have to bring him. And of course Eric goes. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. He comes, he brings Ezekiel to the emergency room, and they admit him as well for the same things. It's called rhinovirus, and it's like an immune respiratory, like kind of like infection, or just something like with that really just affects kids in general. It's like their lungs. To an adult, it's a common cold, but to children, it will snatch them up real quick. Nearly the entire hospital was filled with kids, infants, to like teenagers with this rhinovirus. When me and Cruz were in the hospital, we had a roommate, and he was like about 4 or 5 years old, and he had rhinovirus, but he didn't have it as bad. So he stayed for one night, and then he got discharged the next day. Meanwhile, we stayed an extra 3 nights. So it was just crazy to hear that this virus is going around. It's getting all the kids, and it comes out of nowhere. My kids have no medical history. They have no asthma history, like nothing. My kids, as I am very blessed to say this, but they are very healthy children, like they are. And the doctors were even asking me, like, because they're twins, if they were born prematurely, then they can have, you know, it's common for premature twins to have some sort of like health issue in the future. And I was like, I carried them full term, and they're like, okay, so this just got them out of nowhere then. So I was like, yeah, they're not in preschool, they're not in daycare, they have no exposure to anyone really other than me, Eric. And when we go over to my mom's house, which is just like them and like their little cousins, I was like, what is, like, you know. But we spoke to an asthma specialist because Eric is also mildly asthmatic. So because he has history of it, my sister, my nephew, my dad have history of it. It's like we are basically preparing for the kids in the future to be diagnosed with asthma. Because they are 2.5 years old, it is too early to diagnose them, because at the age of 5 is when they could really sit and take like the actual asthma test with like the full list of allergy tests that they need to take. But because they're 2.5 years old, they can't fully give them that yet, so it's hard to really diagnose them. But they were basically telling us like, hey, yeah, like your kids are asthmatic, we just can't fully diagnose it and put it on paper yet. So I was like, okay. Which a part of me feels guilty, because I think as a newborn, I want to say that I think a part of me felt like Cruz may potentially become asthmatic. And I only say that because I noticed that he would randomly cough and Ezekiel wouldn't. And what I mean is, like, as a newborn, like, he would just randomly cough, like, like nothing too extreme, like not like hard, like dry wheezing or heaving cough, like nothing too painful, but he would just let out a random cough. And he would do that especially at night. So at night, you know, we have the monitors on, and at night I would notice that like he would wake up, randomly cough, and then go back to bed. The doctor brought that up to us. She was like, does he ever wake up at night and cough? And I was like, yes, like he does. And I feel like I've always questioned that a little bit, but it was nothing too concerning. I'm like, oh, like maybe he's just getting up and coughing. But when she said that, a little part of me felt responsible for it. Like I should have brought this up to a doctor. Like, hey, like my kid randomly wakes up at night and he coughs. Maybe she could have told me like, whoa, okay, so like that could be a sign of asthma. But I didn't think anything of it. But you know what? Regardless, like I don't want to beat myself up too much, because I didn't know. It was a thought, and I don't want to be like you're a horrible mom, because I truly didn't know. This is obviously mine and Eric's first time having kids and going through this, and of course we're not perfect, we're going to learn from this, but you know, now we are prepared. Now we have the tools, we have a nebulizer, we have an inhaler with a spacer, we know the signs, I know like what to look out for. I saw my sister growing up struggling and dealing with asthma and being constantly put in the hospital, so when they were like telling me about the nebulizer, I was like, I know what that is, I know how to do it. The inhaler with the spacer, I was like, yes, like I've seen all of this, but to physically go through it with your own children, I was like, this is new. So there was just a lot that was happening on top of like just the mental health and, you know, everything else. So yeah, that's kind of like basically just what's been happening. I'm trying to slowly get back into working out, and working out just makes me feel like just so good. Am I physically at where I want to be? No. I mean, I'm fucking eating in and out right now. The amount of times I have told Eric, I want to eat healthy, I want to just take care of myself, and I need to like cleanse my gut and reset everything. And then midnight hits and I'm like, I want chocolate. I got a fucking smoothie. Eric got me ice cream because I asked for it. But then it's also like, you know what, Vanessa, give yourself a fucking break. Give yourself a break. You need it. You deserve it. If you want a smoothie, get a smoothie. If you want a shake or ice cream, get some. You know, like, I tell myself that, but I also know like it's discipline at the end of the day. So it's just a lot. Honestly, a lot has happened. But thank you so much to all of you that continue to stay and support and watch and just genuinely care for me and my family. I don't want to get emotional, but it was really nice to see all the love and support when we were in the hospital with the kids. Like, it really was just the amount of love and strength and prayers from everybody, like it meant a lot. And yeah, it was during one of the hardest times for all of us, and especially for me and Eric, to go through something with our kids and, you know, just be so sleep deprived and angry and stressed and just overwhelmed and sad and heartbroken because our kids are going through so much. It was like traumatizing for them and us, and you get the whole point. Basically, this is my update of last year to now. It is now September 2022. We're going into October next week, which is so freaking insane to me. Also, I lost my uncle. That one hurt. Oh, it hurts. I lost an uncle this year, and it was one of the hardest things because me and my family were very close to him, and it was sudden, and it was, of course, unexpected, and it still hurts to this day. And his birthday's actually coming up, so I think I'm a little more emotional. But you know, a lot has happened, and it's just been I think draining, to say the least. So I'm you know, hanging in there And yeah, that's kind of like the whole sum of just what's been happening and why I haven't been online. And I know I don't have to explain myself to you guys. I know I don't have to, and it's not like needed, but I genuinely love you guys. I love the support and just everything, and you guys have always stuck by me, even when I was introduced to you guys from Eric. And you know, I know that I have my own supporters and my own fans that genuinely do love and like care for me, like my family and the kids, and I love that so much. And I'm passionate about what I do, and I want to be able to give you guys what I want to give you, but it's just been so hard lately because I feel like back to back to back I'm mentally struggling with something and I'm just going through it. But I think I know next year is going to be a good year, and I know the end of this year is going to be a good year. It's already October. We're a few months away from 2023. So many things are happening next year, and I have, you know, good thoughts, good vibes, good energy. I just want to put nothing but positive out there because I feel like I've been stuck in all the negative, and it's time for me to finally get out of that. But regardless, I love you guys. That's just kind of the update for what's been happening on this side of the town, this side of the screen. And yeah, I just thank you for everything, for all the support and love. And one, I am tired, but two, this is just naturally how I look. Like, my eyes are this low. So please, I don't want to hear any comments that are like, you look so tired. Like, I know it's also 12:52 in the morning. I should go to sleep, but this is my time. This is my time to be by myself and just to do whatever I want to do and get some chores done or just be on my laptop or TikTok or something. So I'm gonna finish my shake. It's vanilla mixed with vanilla. It's vanilla mixed with strawberry shake from In-N-Out. I finished my burger. I finished my fries. I have my Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper. If it's one thing you should know about me, I love Dr. Pepper. Please, I would love to work with Dr. Pepper one day, but until then, I will continue to drink it. And yeah, so again, just thank you guys so much. If you follow us on Bestie with my bestie, thank you so much for all the love and support there. It means so much to us. If you continue to follow me on Instagram, all the love from there. That's where you can find me most of the time, is Instagram, TikTok, and yeah, you know, I do have goals for myself before the year ends, and I'm hoping that I can reach them. But if not, like, you know what, I'm gonna tell myself, focus on the present, be present with yourself and your family and your kids, be happy in the moment, because I do stress out a lot, but you know what, it's fine. Life happens. There's only so much that you can do and control on your end. And with that being said, I need to stop rambling because I can continue to ramble on and on and on, and it's been like 27 minutes is what it says on my phone. So that's that. I'm gonna finish my shake and my Dr. Pepper, and yes. So, thank you for watching. I love you.